I do want to talk a little bit more about the record, and now this will be the second record with Ted on guitar as well. So, and I think fans are really excited about it. So if you can, Rob, you were telling me a little bit last night that when you guys get home from your visit here in San Antonio, you guys are gonna jump right back into the studio initially for the first time, right?
Pretty much so, man. I mean, like the last few weeks before we even came out here has just been brutal because we've been rehearsing for this event and then like rehearsing every night in pre-production, crazy hours, just getting our album ready and stuff, fine-tuning a lot of stuff, and arranging and all this stuff. And you know, I'm dying. I wish I could sit here and tell you all the information that is right, so close to being official, but unfortunately it's just not locked in yet, so I just can't start throwing all these names and all this stuff out. But I can tell you that, I mean, I'm hoping so hard that we make this happen, and we should know this week because we should be starting, our plan is to start pre-production with this producer on Friday, like this Friday, like 5 days from now, and then at that we should be beginning to record on September 14th, which is just a couple weeks away. So we really need to make this solid and firm everything up. But since it isn't, I can't say, but man, we have a brilliant producer lined up, brilliant studio, brilliant mixer, engineers. I mean, the whole thing is just everybody that we're hopefully going to work with is people that I just totally admire and, you know, listen to albums that they've made and just really love their work and respect it, the work that they've done. And I just know that if we team up with this whole team, that it's going to bring everything to the next level. I mean, like, seriously, and especially sonically, like, the sound of our albums most definitely going to be the best sounding album by far, dude, I know. So excited, man, for this album. I just wish I could tell you everything, but really soon.
But you can tell me, or at least forecast a little bit, when do you anticipate the record to be out for the fans?
If all goes according to plan, we should be finished recording by the end of October, mixing into November, and the album should be out by March 2008.
Yeah, on the Nuclear Blast label.
Nuclear Blast. Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about how you feel about the scene in the Bay Area. I mean, of course, it's renowned worldwide as the birth of thrash, and you guys were definitely a part of that. But as we sit here, you know, almost a decade into the new millennium, it's pretty clear that heavy music's making some sort of a resurgence. But talk a little bit more specifically about the Bay. What's going on out there?
The Bay, it's not what it used to be, that's for sure. But there are a lot of good bands coming out who are like a lot of young kids, 16, 17-year-old, who are starting bands and who are like, you know, taking the old Bay Area influence, which is good. But there's just hardly any places to play. But there are a lot of bands, you know, with the help of MySpace and the internet, that really helps out.
I did just hear recently that this place, an old legendary club called the Mabuhay Gardens, or otherwise known as the MAB, they're starting to have shows there now. So of all things, that's like from old school. We used to play there back in the day. I mean, small little punk rock club that everybody played at. I think, you know, yeah, totally. Everybody played there, and that was like a big deal to have that club back then. So they're trying to bring the old school flavor back by opening the MAB, and they said they're gonna decorate it inside with like a lot of old posters from the original days and try to, like, you know, get the vibe going for the scene. So that's really cool, man. But like Ted said, clubs open, then they shut down again from this and that, and it just doesn't have you just don't have all the opportunity like it used to be. So, you know, hopefully the kids will get it together with the people in the clubs and stuff, and they got to make the scene happen, because what the bands from the old scene, like, you know, us and Exodus, Testament, the thrash bands from the era, we're either in the studio or we're on tour like somewhere. So we're not really like in the scene all the time like it used to be, where we were just like kids and hanging out all the time. Everyone just thinks like by now it's like everyone always just hangs out, but we're just working all the time now, working on stuff. So there isn't as much hanging out unless you're at your show working or on tour and stuff. So now it's to the new generation to get their scene going and hanging and going to each other's parties and all their clubs. You know, Friday night you're playing, then you go see your friend's band Saturday. Every week it's like that, and you live for it, and then the scene grows like that. And then, you know, you guys can open up for us.
I've always been a huge fan of the organization. I was telling you last night, and I heard a rumor, and I wanted to ask you about it, but the rumor was that there was a possibility that those the organization tracks or the releases, the debut and the Savor the Flavor, would be re-released, or you guys were trying to get the rights to those that music, and if you did, that you might like re-release them and remaster them and throw some bonus stuff in there. Is that still something you want to do?
It's definitely something that we want to do. It's just we just ran into roadblocks doing that. Came to a point we were trying to do that, and it's just, I don't know what was going on. There was just all kinds of stuff stopping us from doing it easily. We were unable to. All this was going on, and finally we just got fed up, and then we had to move on and working on other stuff. So we just had to let that go because we're dealing with too much other stuff right now. But yeah,
But didn't you guys do that like under your own label name, the Unsafe Unsane?
We did, and then we had some kind of licensing deal with Metal Blade.
Right.
And the last I heard was going on is that Metal Blade has the masters because they produced them and distributed it. So they had the masters from that, and so this is what I'm not sure where I'm getting this from, but what I was hearing, we had someone looking into it, and what I was hearing was that Metal Blade was saying that they don't have the masters. So we were like, what? Well, who has them? You had them. And they're like, well, we don't have them. And then we were like, okay. So then we were kind of stuck for a second, and we just didn't, at that point, we didn't have the energy to now we have to locate them or press on them further to go, you have the masters. I don't know who. So it was weird like that. So we don't have the masters. and then it's just going to take some effort and money and energy to start finding everything and doing all this, and we need stuff, so we just let it go first. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, we would love to do that. I love those albums, man. I'm totally bummed that they're just not out there, all the work we did and everything, and they're just out of print, and it's what a waste.
Well, when the CD comes out next year, we greatly look forward to supporting Death Angel. Undoubtedly, you guys will put out another fantastic slab of metal for us. Hopefully, though, this go around you'll come down and play San Antonio, and if you do, we'll definitely be there. But even if you don't, that we'll be in Austin or in Houston or wherever we need to be to support you guys. Any last words for the people out there in San Antonio? Anything we missed? Anything you want to say?
Well, definitely thanks very much for supporting Death Angel and just everything that I've been involved in and that anybody from Death Angel has been involved in. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And Rob, we thank you so much as well, and all you guys and the crew and just everything, man. And I will say that I told Rob last night, though, buzzed as I was, but I did tell you, I promised you that we're gonna play San Antonio, and I'll see to it that we do. So when Death Angel comes on tour, we will play San Antonio, and if not, you can find me and throw rocks at me, because I said that we would, and we'll make it happen, because it's special vibe, a special place for us. So when it comes to that, we'll go out of our way to make damn sure of it. So hope to see you there.
I remembered you saying that. I just didn't want to put you on the spot. I didn't know if you were really just beer talking or were serious or not. We did some heavy drinking last night.
Yeah.
I'm glad you remembered, Rob. Thank you for coming over. Appreciate it. Ted, any last words? Anything you want to share?
Metal.
Thanks, Ted. Remember San Antonio, you saw Rob Cavastani and Ted Aguilar of the band Death Angel, only right here on Rob's MetalWorks. Look for the new DA out on Nuclear Blast in spring '08. Death Angel, man, rocks right here on Rob's MetalWorks.